Uh, Good day. Welcome again to another in our series today, another beacon of hope. Today I'm continuing my series, the Perfect Law of Love series, and I want to talk about the second commandment. Now, the second commandment is quite involved, and it's going to be a challenge to try to keep it all within the time limit here, but I'll do my best to keep it no more than eight minutes. So, but it is an interesting commandment, and there's quite a lot involved here. So let's get right into it. And that's Exodus 20, second commandment, Exodus 20, verses 4 through 6. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Verse 5. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me. Verse 6. But showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. Wow. What a powerful commandment that is. Well, it's similar to the first commandment, but there is a little bit of a distinction. Let me compare the two. The first commandment was was specifically talking about having no other gods above the only true God. That's the first commandment, and it was particularly pertaining to who and what we worship. Do we worship God or something else, or small god, little gods? Small g God. The second commandment, in contrast, is about how we worship. They're very connected, they're very similar, but the who, because the who and the how very much go together. A misconception of the second commandment, I must say, is that if we are not bowing down to a little figure like a golden calf, then we are not worshiping idols. But it's so much more than that. Yes, we worship God and only God, but we must worship Him in the way He commands. How important is that? Not on our own terms, but on God's terms. We have a tendency to want to glorify or worship creation instead of the Creator. Nature is our God. We've discovered in recent weeks we can worship God without having church to meet in. That's obviously a church is not required in order to worship. We don't need the physical building. Hebrews says, I will put my laws in their minds and write them in their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. Hebrews 8:10. So what are the idols in your life that keep you from wholeheartedly worshiping the true God? Well, first of all, we need to define what an idol is. What is an idol? Well, an idol is a thing that distracts us from the glorious, ever-living God. Idols are what captures one's affection and passion away from God. Anything that takes the place of God in our lives can be referred to as an idol. The literal translation of the Hebrew word for idols refers to little round things, and one of the words that is used in the Bible is dung. And that's not very complimentary. In fact, quite frankly, it stinks. Well, sorry for the bad puns, excuse me. But this is serious business, and I want to continue because it's such an important commandment. It's time to identify idols that may be present in your life and my life, and get rid of them. Today, idolatry remains a powerful tool that the devil uses to turn us away from God. Even small, seemingly harmless things can twist our attention away from God. It can be very easy to get completely wrapped in earthly matters. We could talk for hours about things of this world, but how much time do we spend talking about spiritual things? Here's a couple of texts that we need to consider. First of all, Colossians 3, verse 1 and 2. If then you were raised with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ is sitting at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on things of this earth. Second text, Matthew 6, verse 20 and 21. But lay up yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. We often take time for things that we are interested in. We have plenty of time to do hobbies and crafts and go here and go here and there. If our eyes are really open to see that a life that is pleasing to God is what really matters, then all the temporary distractions will fade away. They'll no longer have any value. I should be able to say with Christ, my kingdom is not of this earth, John 18:36. I challenge you, take a look at your past week and ask yourself these two questions. Number one, where were my thoughts? And number two, what was I busy with? If you are really honest about it, and have an honest and pure desire to serve God, then you need to take up a battle so that your thoughts are not on wandering back and forth trail, but that your mind is set firmly on things above. And I think all of us would admit that our mind does wander at times. God will bless such a heart that is holy for Him if we commit and our mind is focused on that. Just as He blessed the Israelites when they were faithful to Him. Our song needs to be always, in that beautiful song in the hymnal, have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Thou art the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me after thy will, while I am waiting, yielded and still. This hymn was inspired in 1902 by a simple prayer of an elderly woman at a prayer meeting. It really doesn't matter what you do with, this is a prayer. It really doesn't matter what you do with us, Lord, just have your way with our lives. The songwriter of this beautiful hymn her name was Adelaide A. Pullard. She was born in Iowa. Following her education in physical culture, elocution physical culture, she moved to Chicago, where she became a teacher in girls' school. In addition, she developed a fine reputation as an itinerant Bible study teacher. Pullard had a strong desire to be a missionary in Africa. And so when the plan was not fulfilled, she taught at a missionary training school at Nyack on the Hudson. I like the fourth stanza, particularly the last line. Christ only always living in me. That is the challenge, that is the key to our victorious Christian life. Having Christ to be first in our lives, 24/7. I challenge you to make that your goal today and every day.